Your pathetic rebellion ends here.
Alright, what's happening, people? Welcome to a little more Battlefront gameplay. Now, I'm not going to, once again, I think it's this commentary simply going on after the fact, so I don't think I'm going to talk for the duration of this. I thought I'd whip together a double shot video of a couple of different rounds here of some Battlefront Blast gameplay. First one being on the Jawa Refuge, the second one going to roll in on the Sulfur Fields. And both of them are showcasing the T-21b targeting rifle. As close as you're going to get to that kind of, that mobile sniper, you know, sniper rifle. That mobile sniper rifle in the game. The other being the, you know, the other kind of sniper style weapons, the cycler rifle, and the pulse cannon, or the pulse rifle. I think it's called the pulse cannon. Both of them one-shot killers. And both of them come in the form of star cards. So this is kind of your, as close as you're going to get to any sort of sniper rifle within the game that's of constant use, you know. You can see early on here, taking it to the top of the sandcrawler, a great place to be for the current loadout that I'm sporting, with the targeting rifle up here, along with my bounty hunter perk. You know, I can hold the ground, and I will have that steady influx of power-ups coming my way, so I can really get some good defenses down up here if I can hold my ground long enough. But I don't think that's actually, no, it doesn't. It doesn't last for me, as Rusty Killax, he well collects my soul. Yes, he did, with a little pulse cannon fire, and took me off of my throne atop the sandcrawler. So coming back, I think I spent a bit of time trying to get back up there. I think rather unsuccessfully as well, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Anyway, the two rounds coming in here, gonna be, one's a victory, one's a loss. And, well, you can wait and see which one's going to turn out to be which. Both rounds, not too bad. One really does showcase more of a ranged play with the T-21b, and the other one a little bit more in your face. Even with the loss, it was even, you know, I thought, well, is there merit in this? I mean, the KDRs on both aren't horrible, they're not great, they're not supreme. I do find with the T-21b that my KDR does usually scale back, you know, or it's not quite as, there's not quite as large a gap there between my kills and my deaths. I don't usually pull in as big of numbers as I can with kind of an assault blaster, you know, or a hand cannon of some kind. That I do with this, and you can even see there'll be times where I do seem a little sketchy with it. I think it's the fire, it's the rate of fire on this blaster in particular. You know, instinctively I want to try and get on the trigger, or instinctively what happens is if I miss that first shot, and this is one of my most inconsistent rifles, is if I do miss that first shot with this rifle, I have a tendency to overcorrect, and the overcorrection usually comes from that kind of that quick instinctive desire to get the man in front of me in my sights. And what happens is I don't move it onto the man, and I do this for many weapons. Is I don't initially, I'm not super accurate with that initial movement. What I do is I usually move it across the body and then bring it back and correct. And with a full auto blaster or rifle in shooters, there's no problem with that, because you have that kind of that steady spray, and you'll be doing some damage. But the problem with the rate of fire on the T-21b is that what happens is often I will move the crosshairs across my target before I can actually pull that trigger again and release another round. And that costs me, and it shows at times in just kind of some sloppy misfires. And you'll see it in this pair of rounds if you watch to the end. You'll see the frustration. You know, it's kind of hit or miss, and especially with this rifle. It's probably my most inconsistent weapon in the game. But if I'm using it consistently during the session, I can have some real killer rounds. You know, I'll be leading the targets well, and I think that's true for anybody that spends a little bit of time with a weapon. They really do. it becomes a part of them. There is no spoon, so to speak. Yes, there is no T-21b. So anyway, yeah, there we go. We're gonna get a couple of rounds here, some sniper action or some targeting rifle action on the Jawa Refuge, as I said, and we will take it to the Sulphur Fields as well. It is a lot of blast gameplay that you're gonna see here with regards to the Battlefront. That's just the type of player that I am. I'm a TDM guy. I have been. Maybe that's the old school gamer in me. You know, I've played some of the smaller objective-based games for Battlefront. Didn't have a huge love for them, you know. Some of them were okay. A lot of them felt, I don't know, just some of the strategies that you could employ felt a little exploitive, and there were teams that were trying to pull that off, you know. Just, I don't know. I will try and get some more footage. As far as the bigger battles, the big war battles, whether it be in Battlefront with what is it, Walker Assault, there's Supremacy, and now there's Turning Point in there, the 40-man battles. I have been trying to get some footage of that as well. You know, I will try and get some stuff to mix it up, but although primarily you'll probably see mostly blast gameplay. I do want to get some of the larger big ground battles. I want to get some of that gameplay up here on the channel as well, just to get some of the hero gameplay in there as well. Although I never seem, I mean, I don't play the game modes enough to know where to go looking for all of these, all the hero pickups. And more often than not, I think guys, I know that they kind of rotate between different locations, and I think that there are some players that have spent quite a bit of time with the game who know exactly where to go looking for them, you know. And there are guys that just always seem to end up with those hero power-ups, you know. They're always in there, probably camping it when they don't have it, and camping a set of locations, you know, looking for it, or actively looking for it, you know. So I rarely, when I do get in there, I rarely end up finding the hero pickups, and I find that a little frustrating, you know. Anyway, no, with the bigger ground battles, there I do have my issues with the gameplay there as well. I know some guys really do love the Battlefield style, the big wars, the big war gameplay. I don't know. I like the kind of the more in-your-face personal heroics that can be put on display during a you know, a blast or a TDM round of 20 people. You know, I guess that's just who I am. Sometimes when you have one of those good rounds, you know, where you're posting 25 kills, the deaths are coming in at 4 or less, you know, and it's just that fast-paced, in-your-face action. There's just something that feels really good about that, you know, that I really like. That's addictive, you know. So that's kind of that's the player I am. I think you primarily see the blast gameplay up here, but I am actively trying to get some other stuff. My beef with the larger wars, there are within those game modes, the Walker Assault and the Supremacy, the Turning Point. There's vehicles, obviously. We've got the Walkers, we've got aerial vehicles, the Interceptors, the TIE Bombers, the various wings, whether it's the X-Wing or the A-Wing. And what I find is, you know, I've tried to get into some of these vehicles, the aerial vehicles. I feel like it's just a side of the gameplay that I'm not really permitted to play, you know, because I can't get up there and be effective in the sky, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because completely the controls within the gameplay are completely in favor of a controller user, and that's just that's the truth of it. Those are the hard facts. It's not an impression. That's not an opinion. That's the truth of it. And I'll try and explain why. When you're in the skies, you have a few different means of evading a target lock from a missile lock, or trying to shake an auto lock that a pilot is trying to put on you with their main blaster guns that they have on the vehicle. And what those come on the keyboard in the form of F1, F2, F3, and what it'll do like a little barrel roll or something, and you'll shake the lock. Right now, beyond, there's a cooldown on each of those, you know, and the problem comes from, you know, the rest of the time, while you're waiting for those cooldowns to recharge, the rest of the time you have to be able to manually evade these target locks. And there is a soft lock with the targeting reticle in the aerial vehicles. You know, when they're trying to target another aerial vehicle, there's a soft lock in there. You can hold the right mouse button and a soft auto lock will come on to anybody who's within range, you know, who's kind of within your line of sight that you move that reticle across, and he'll kind of hold it. The problem with that is that when you think about a controller with a dual thumbstick, the best means for evading a soft lock or somebody who's trying to, you know, gun you down in the skies is to go into some extreme bank, you know, an extreme turn left or right or loop-de-loop, you know. The problem, and it's very simplistic, it's a very simplistic way to try and, you know, dogfight in the skies. The problem is that the controller users with the dual thumbsticks have a major advantage here. They can basically just hold their thumbsticks to the extreme because they've got that locked perimeter. You know, you can only move the thumbstick so far, and then it's a simple, you know, you don't really have to do anything beyond that other than just hold your thumb there. You know, if you're splitting the sticks apart to gain a maximum curvature, you know, to turn in and maybe killing your speed a little bit to increase your turn, or increasing your speed a little bit to put a little more distance between yourself and your pursuer. But it's really easy to just hold the sticks there and maintain that perfect arc, you know. The problem with the mouse and keyboard is that the mouse user has to constantly adjust. I have to keep picking up the mouse, resetting it, and every time I do that, I'm losing ground, you know. My pursuer is gaining on me, he's getting me further, you know, he's getting a greater soft lock on me, and he's able to put some fire my way and do some damage, and before too long, I'm down out of the skies. And I do love flying, you know. For anybody that's been with the channel a long time, from Homefront all the way to Star Citizen now, I do love taking to the skies in these games. And I feel pretty comfortable up there. Unfortunately, it's just a one-sided affair going up against the controller users in this game. I think it was probably true with Battlefield as well, which is why I never really got into the kind of the fighter gameplay up there in the skies too often. I just felt like it was a one-sided affair, you know. The controller users do dominate the skies. So that's a beef I have with this game. It's one of the reasons why you don't see too much, why I've kind of departed from trying to play much Supremacy or Walker Assault, is because it's an important part of the gameplay is to get up there in the skies and play your role, whether you're trying to take down a vehicle on the ground or just playing a support role up there, trying to keep the you know, the skies as clean as possible, and maybe doing a few strafing runs across thick patches of enemy infantry, right? Stormtroopers or rebels down on the ground. I can't do it. I can't do it very effectively in the games, and I just, when I'm thinking about making a video, you know, you want to have those moments up there in the skies that are, you know, somewhat, you know, not necessarily spectacular, but you want to have a couple of good runs up there as well. Take to the skies, play your role, and I just feel like that I can't do it. I can't do it. So I will try and get some of the other game modes up here with time, but for the time being, it's I do have a fair amount of Blast gameplay saved up, so you'll probably see some more to come as the channel continues to hopefully gear up, and the flow of content continues to increase as the days and the weeks go by. Appreciate y'all stopping in for this. I'm going to cut out now. We'll let the rest of the video play. Hopefully enjoyed it, and until next time, all, remember why it hurts. Later.